Nobody talks about this, like actually talks about it with real numbers. Everyone shows you the tools, shows you the workflows, tells you to go build something with AI, but nobody tells you what it actually costs to run all this stuff every single month. So I went through every single subscription, every API bill, every tool I pay for to run my AI workflows. And some of these numbers surprised even me. I'm going to show you the full breakdown, what's worth it, what I'm probably overpaying for, and what I'd cut if I had to get this down to the bare minimum. Because if you're thinking about building something like this on the side, you need to know what you're actually signing up for, not the marketing page price, the real price. Let me just go through everything, and I mean everything. Starting off with Claude, $200. Now this is something I started just at $20 a month whenever I need to maintain my website or develop YouTube thumbnails, edit videos. Claude is going to be the main driver. NA10 I've been using a lot as well. I self-host, which if you're new, I would just skip this and just go straight to paying the monthly subscription. Don't think about it. It is $24 a month. This is actually $30 annually because I signed up for VPS, which in itself creates even more securities. So you have to know what you're doing if you're going to self-host. And it just costs me basically on average maybe $3 to $5 a month. And it saves me hours every single week. Blotato is a scheduling tool that I use for everything. Basically, it allows you to schedule via NA10 with any platform. So whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X. I mainly use it for YouTube Shorts. I also schedule my tweets via Blotato. Any platform you can think of, this is going to be the main driver. This is just personal preference. I like the ability to edit videos with text. For example, if I open this video, you can edit like this. It'll show you the text. So you can edit like that. Just a cleaner experience. That's what I feel like I'm paying the $24 for. But honestly, I may remove this at some point. I may replace this with DaVinci. It's more expensive up front, but it is ultimately free in the long run. vidIQ, I use it for YouTube keyword research. MailerLite is $20 a month. And this one is what I use to send emails. So I was starting out with the free plan, but because I needed automations and I needed to sell products, I needed to upgrade. So for me, this was the no-brainer. And OnePostal, I'm just going to group these together, is really $30 a month. And the reason I need this is I don't want to show my personal address and emails. ChatGPT is something that I actually unsubscribed maybe a month or two ago. And with the latest updates and just after testing Codex, which is a similar version of Claude Code, I signed up again. It's just priceless to me, so it's just worth the $12. For example, I have a task database that looks very similar to this structure. And when I flag something as done, if it's something that repeats, it'll just auto reschedule itself for the next week. In the past, when I use something like Trello, it would take me like literally 30 minutes just to prep for the next week. Now it literally takes me 0 minutes. And then Airtable, it's $20 a month. I'm paying $0 right now because I'm part of a school community and it just is included for free. But will I pay for it? Now it's debatable because I'm not using it as much as I was before, but my workflows do use it with NA10, so it's something that I'm still going to keep using in the meantime. All this to say that it cost me around $400 a month. This is actually pretty crazy because I never really totaled this out until right now that I'm looking at it. But when you think about the productivity that I get every month, I don't spend a lot of time creating scripts. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about which videos to talk about. So they do save me a lot of time. But here's a more visual interface of all my tools and whether it's worth the time. I didn't include some because I'm on a free trial, like for example, Perplexity. However, my OpenClaw has API access to Perplexity and uses it daily. And because the searches are so cheap, I'm not sure I really need this. I'm okay with the free version. And if I'm being really honest, the script is something that I will drop because I'm already able to edit videos to a huge extent, not fully, but like 70% of it gets edited and then I just review it with Claude Code. And then I can teach Claude Code. I can build an agent workflow where it has access to DaVinci Resolve and it helps me edit the video a little bit better. Plus, it's free. The only reason I pay for the script is because it allows me to add captions easily. If I was to post videos for 1 year, I will make my money back eventually. So this is going to be one of the first ones to go. Blotato is something that I am using. Still, this is going to be tricky for me. So for now, I'm going to keep it. It works well. I like it. And NA10 is just dirt cheap that for the value it gives me. And I already paid for 2 years for self-hosting. So I don't see any time soon changing it. But as OpenClaw, for me, keeps adopting more of my workflows, I may not even need it as much as I used to anymore. Claude is just the one that's going to stay for now. If anything, I may chop my subscription once I start hosting models locally, which is something I want to do long term. Airtable, probably going to go if none of the workflows that I use right now that remain with NA10 depend on Airtable, I might just nuke it and not pay for this once my trial is up. Notion, I will keep it. The only thing I'll lose out is the now automation feature, which I need. So for now, I have to keep it. How I foresee this happening is either this trims to 100, and I would just keep these both at 100. Because I think Codex and Claude are just two phenomenal workflows. Codex to code stuff, and then you have Claude as a brain and to do other stuff. So I'm also on a Gemini free trial, and this is through my cell phone provider. So I have access to Gemini Pro. So if I had to start over again tomorrow with zero budget, here's what I would actually use. You can use ChatGPT free, and the only downside there is that you do have ads now. At the same time, you have Claude free, so you get a few sessions, maybe a few messages daily, so why not? Notion, also free. Notion free is going to be more than enough. NA10 self-hosted is going to be like $60. Again, if you're not technical and you're scared to set this up, I would just skip installing it locally in your machine and just do the VPS route like Hostinger, and it's a very easy experience to set up. Canva is free. MailerLite is free to 1K subs. So these are the core features that I would use. And if there's any free trials, like definitely sign up. And that's really it. You don't need to pay for any subscriptions. But once you're ready to level up, you can actually, as of now, I would say Opus is actually the better model in terms of just the experience of interacting with it and just solving complex problems, coding, non-coding. In my experience, it works well. Now, for coding specifically, like building like websites or things like that matter, I think Codex holds its own weight and is really good. But overall, like I just think Opus is way better, even Sonnet 4.6. So if you had to pay for one model, I would just start with Claude. And this may change though. So as the competition keeps going, I feel like OpenAI and Claude are always neck to neck. At one point, you may switch to ChatGPT, and that's fine. And Perplexity Pro, I think it is worth it, but the free is more than enough for most people. But ultimately, I think it's Claude. Now, if you're editing video, I don't think you even need the script. You can just start with DaVinci Resolve. But if you do need captions, that will be a little more painful because you have to set it up manually. You can either pay once, which is a hefty price of like $300, or you can just pay the script, which is what I started doing, $24 a month. So once you're ready to level up, it can cost you anywhere between $44 to $64. And honestly, the expensive part isn't the tools. This is the part that would have saved me months if someone had told me up front. It's usually the cost that you can't control that surprise you. API, if you're using NA10, you're going to be using API, which means you're going to hit Claude, you're going to hit Anthropic. When you're going to test a new workflow, you're going to keep testing until it works, meaning the quality of the output is what you intend. So let's say you're building a workflow to generate LinkedIn posts and the first batch just wasn't good. And now you've burned maybe $3 to $5, if you're lucky, depending on the model, of API usage. And if you don't pay attention, do this long enough, all of a sudden you're spending $20 to $50 on a single month, just API usage, just testing, not even fully using the production workflow. And that's assuming you keep it. If you don't keep it, that's just money you just spent. Not knowing what tool to use for what can waste a lot of time because you'll be going back and forth with the AI model, frustrated with not getting the results you want, when in reality, it's not the best model to do that. Maybe it can get there, but it's going to take you maybe 5 to 15 prompts to get there versus something like Sonnet or even ChatGPT. It will take maybe 2 to 3 prompts. For example, I was trying to debug an OpenClaw issue, and I was going back and forth in Perplexity. I ran out of Claude credit for the week, so I couldn't even use that. And so I was going back and forth with Perplexity, trying to use the Sonnet model, which I think I ran out at the time, and I didn't realize it. And so I was using a different model with Perplexity, and I just kept going back and forth just for 30 minutes, almost an hour, and I couldn't figure out the issue. And it took me a while, but I saw that I wasn't working with the right model, and that's when I realized I was wasting my time. So then I went to Codex, and it solved me the problem in less than 5 minutes. That is what will cost you a lot of time. So knowing all this, you don't need to spend $400 a month. You don't even need to spend anything monthly until you've tested what works for you, until you've built your own workflows and you know what you're going to commit to. Because at the end of the day, like spending money on AI tools doesn't make you more productive. It's not going to get you any money. When I sold my first product, it happened using MailerLite free. So you don't need a paid tool to get money. Some tools are worth the money if they can save you the time, but you won't know that if you don't do the process long enough. If you're trying to automate content creation and you've never created a video in your life, you've never written an article, there's no reason to start paying for a premium AI tool because it's not really going to optimize anything. If anything, it's just going to speed up what you don't know. Once you've tried ChatGPT for a few weeks or a few days or Claude or Notion and you've hit the limitations constantly, maybe you're getting capped at ChatGPT constantly, but you like the output, then that means it's time to upgrade. Other than that, you're just going to be spending money on a tool. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully it inspires you to build your own workflow, to consider different tools. I put together a doc with 15 leaked AI prompts from tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. If you're trying to get more out of these tools without spending more money, this is a good place to start. Free. Links in the description.